Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hi, hi there, hi. Thank you for coming. Big audience today. My name is Luca Benini. You see it there. I'm with Salesforce Marketing Cloud, and I'm here today to talk to you about the evolution of the marketer. So who's the new CMO? How does a CMO survive by adapting to the social fast lane? So you're going to see, quite a few things in my presentation. I hope you're going to enjoy it. It's been a journey for me to when I created it, and I want to take you through that journey with me today. If you want to tweet about me, if you want to reach me on Facebook or on LinkedIn, please do. My details are very small, in a very light white on blue. So you can't see it, but I'll say it again. It's at Luca Benini, where instead of the I's, you have the one, the number one. That's my Twitter handle. Anyway, before we start, you should know that Salesforce.com is a publicly listed company. Our ticker symbol is CRM. So I invite you all to read right now our safe harbor. If you can't read it now, you'll find it on our website, and we can proceed with my presentation. So first things first, who am I and what do I do? As I said, I work for the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. I was part of, actually, I opened up the European office for a company called Buddy Media, specialized in engagement software for social at scale. So we used to work with a lot of enterprise clients to help them shape and take forward their efforts into the social media networks. That company was acquired in August last year by Salesforce, and together with Radian6, a prior acquisition from Salesforce, we created, and we're now all part of, the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. There are 6 main building blocks that are part of our proposition. From listening to social content, engagement, social ads, as you see there, workflow and automation, and measurement, of course. And what we say and what we are promising our clients, and hopefully so far we've been keeping our promises to our clients, is that we help them turn insights into actions and convert connections into customers for life. And I think this is central to what we're also going to talk to you about today, because if we can turn those connections into customers for life, then all our problems are solved. And that responsibility to turn connections into customers for life sits with the CMO, the people that are responsible for marketing. There's probably quite a few of you in the room today, and you know that it's on you to connect with that customer, to understand their needs, to anticipate their needs, to respond to their queries, and to ultimately try to turn every single one of those connections, every single one of those people that raise their hand and say, I like your brand, I'm following your brand, I have a question about your brand, then you want to turn that connection into a customer for life. Before I start, I want to, as I said, it's been a journey for me to build this presentation. So before I start, I want to tell you how I came about to the content that I'm going to show to you. So when I booked in this presentation, I was going to come here and talk about the evolution of the marketer. And my conversation with you today was going to be about the shifting balance that now govern how the new marketer needs to balance out art and science. You see them very badly represented here in my visualization. The story that I had in mind, the story that I actually pitched to be here with you today, was about, and is about, the new marketer that needs to be connected with science, needs to be connected with technology, needs to master technology. And that, we've seen that shift happening over the years. I was going to talk to you today and bring examples to the table like Keith Weed, the CMO of Unilever, one of the largest CPG companies in the world. Well, he is an engineer, a mechanical engineer, actually. and he's a fellow of the Institute of Mechanical Engineers, and he's the CMO of Unilever. I was going to bring another example to the table, James Tripodi. He's the CMO of Coca-Cola. He's a Harvard graduate who started his career at IBM, nonetheless. So deep roots in technology for these new CMOs, these new marketers. So I started working on it, and I started putting it together. And I said, yeah, this presentation looks exactly like what the evolution of the marketer has been and is going to be. But there was a but. And I realized as I was building this presentation that I was creating a whole new profile for this marketer. So I want to share it with you, and I want to see if you're with me at the end of it, and we can have a laugh about it. Actually, before we embark on this journey, I have a quick video here that I want to show you to put things in perspective, to let us understand why a marketer, and everybody in a company for that matter, but specifically is the responsibility of the marketer to evolve and to adapt in order to survive in the social fast lane. I have a video here that will help us put things in the right context, in the context of today's customers and what they live, what they breathe, what they ask us every day, and what they expect from us as marketers every day.
For decades, the experts have been proclaiming the dawn of a new revolution, a world where customers are no longer at the mercy of corporations, where they don't have to suffer through bad service or broken products, long waits or endless phone trees, and where they have no real voice or no recourse. Until now, it's been a hollow proclamation. Welcome to the world of the ever-connected, always-on, highly opinionated, on-the-move customer. This is a customer who understands they now have power, and they know how to use it. They have expectations, and they have choices if those expectations aren't met. And boy, do they have choices. They also have a voice, and it is loud and far-reaching. To earn their loyalty goes way beyond a loyalty program. You need to earn their trust, because make no mistake, this is a trust revolution. You need to recognize them as more than just numbers or accounts, but as unique human beings with a distinct set of needs. They now expect more than just a product or a service from you. They expect a relationship that is on equal terms. They give, you get, you give, they get. They expect to be at the center of your world, and you, my friends, need to put them there. You need to become a customer company. A customer company is available 24/7, and any place your customers happen to be. A customer company listens first to every customer on every channel. A customer company connects their customers, employees, partners, and products. Customer companies know the conversation never stops. They're grateful for your business and show it. They create communities and respect your identity, privacy, and money. Most importantly, a customer company knows you're the same person no matter how you contact them. They don't just create satisfied customers. They create evangelists. And when you become a customer company, you'll transform everything. You'll accelerate your growth from the inside out by giving your employees an enjoyable way to truly collaborate with each other. You'll close deals faster, together, gaining a real competitive advantage. You'll listen to customers and provide great service everywhere. Your data will always be up to date. Your people will always be at peak performance. You'll get to market first and arrive with confidence because you'll be backed up by real-time insights that let you know you're right. And in the cloud, innovation and scale is something you never have to worry about. That comes standard.
So, a great video. A bit salesy in the end, and I apologize for that, but I think it's helpful to put things in perspective. And the whole first part is full of those buzzwords that resonate constantly when we sit down and when I sit down with my team and we talk about priorities for our customers. Words like trust and always on and availability and reliability. I like how my CEO the other day, in an internal conference, he referred to this as people's help button. So there's a help button on every single service, every product now, and it's this one. This is how people want to connect with us as brands, us as providers of service and products. And this is where the expectation is. The expectation is right now, right here. Our work and our job is to provide technology that enables these companies to make it easier, faster, and better to deliver on those expectations and allow them to become those customer companies. You've seen the technology building blocks that I had on my first slide. But today, really, I'm here to talk to you about the 6 principles that should guide, that do guide, the successful marketer today. So let's take a look at those principles one by one, and let's see what profile do we come up with for the new marketer. The first principle is be a good listener. Fundamental. I've used this before at events, so if you were with me previously, you've heard this before. But when I was growing up, my mom used to say, remember that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice before you speak once. That was obviously true in all the relationship that I was trying to build with my friends, with my peers, with my girlfriends probably. Be a good listener. But what we're talking about here is be a good listener at scale. The social sphere is full of messages that you need to harvest. You need to make yours. You need to be able to capture them, process them, and act on them. Turn insights into action, we said earlier. So what do you need to do to be a good listener? You need to know which are the channels where the conversation is happening. What are those ones that are important to your community? And what are the key topics, the key items that your community is talking about? You need to capture those, intercept those, and act on those. And also understand what are the influences around your community, within your community. How do you harvest on those? And how do you further those advocacies and make them blossom within the community? Now we have an example here. Actually, I have a couple of examples. One on the slide, and one that I'm going to talk to you about quickly, of companies that are actually making that listening very much part of their DNA. We've been working with Dell for a number of years. And actually, I enjoy the story regarding Dell because if you go back to the early days, Dell started and actually revolutionized its own space and industry by being a customer company. They were unlike anybody else. allowing their customers to fully customize the items that we're going to buy. The Dell, was the first one to introduce a flexible supply chain so that they could actually accommodate any need that you had for your particular device that you wanted to buy. Now, as they grew into a corporation, they probably disconnected slightly from that early days connection that they had with their customers. They became, a large company. But then with social, they saw immediately the opportunity to reconnect and positively reconnect with their user base, with their potential customers. They created, and they've done above and beyond what most companies would do in order to listen to those customers, reconnect each and every employee that they have. This is also of paramount importance, spreading that ability to connect with the customers, with the word out there to all the employees. And that opportunity became part of their DNA, or re-became part of their DNA, and came back into their core, according to their values. The other example that I have for you today is Nestlé. Nestlé use social listening in a number of different ways, and if you've interacted with any of their products or any of their customer service, you know that they do an exceptional job at it. Another thing that not everybody knows is that they've created social listening as part of the onboarding process for all the new employees that will work in brand marketing. So tomorrow, if you're offered a job at Nestlé in marketing, you will probably spend 6 months in Switzerland at their Vevey headquarters as part of a team that they call the Digital Acceleration Team, and spend there day in and day out being bombarded with messages from the social world about your brand, about your products. And they feel that this is the best way for any marketer to start its career within Nestlé, because the best way for them to get to know the brand and get to know the products that they will then go out and market is to listen how the products are talked about, how the brand is talked about out there in the social sphere. Principle number 2, be generous and start giving. Network economy relies on an exchange of value. The more you put into the network, the more you should be able to get out of the network. And this is true for all our relationships, all our networks, your personal connections on LinkedIn, on Facebook. It's particularly true for brands. And it becomes more and more relevant for them to start giving in that network relationship. We as customers have expectations from a brand. We need information. We need the latest updates. We need answers to our questions. And we need a place that the brand will call their social media home, where all that information is actually provided. It's given to us in the form of entertainment maybe, nice videos, informative videos, articles, but promotions, how much and how many promotions are out there in the social sphere. Why are they there? Because the brand feels compelled, and it should feel compelled, to start giving, to be generous, to start that positive interaction with the community that they're trying to build around their brand and around their product. I have an example here of a company that on a global basis has probably led the way in terms of being generous and start giving. They were the first one in the automotive industry to create a place, a social media home, social.ford.com. If you go and visit it now, it's a fantastic way for Ford to provide that value, to initiate that exchange of value that will lead to a positive growth of the community. Through that, they were also able to create a network of advocates to further those ones that are out there raving about their cars. They're enthusiastic and enthusiastically connected to the brand Ford. And through social media, and especially through social.ford.com, they were able to actually grow and foster that ability for them to leverage on these people and make them and empower them to be even more bigger, better advocates of the company. Moving on to principle number 3, the principle just says care. You as a brand, you as a marketer, today you need to care and know me as a customer deeply. What does it mean? Well, it means that you've now listened, you've now created a social media home where that conversation can happen. Now, dig deep into that conversation. Be there at the point of need. Create the social media experience so that it truly becomes a way for customers to feel that you care for them, that you've organized your social media home around them, and that you're ready to answer their questions, that you're ready to address and anticipate their needs. And again, this is something that we as individuals, we probably do. It's part of our network experience. Our friends ask questions, we answer them. Sometimes we see something that is incredibly exciting, we share it with our friends without actually needing them to ask for it. And that's how we exchange value with our friends. Well, a brand needs to connect with their customer in the same way. The problem that typical brand will face, or the brand marketer for that matter, is how do you do it at scale again? And the only way you can do it at scale is through the use of technology. So we go back to the notion at the beginning of being sure that the profile of the new marketer has deep roots into technology, because the new marketer needs to speak technology in order to embrace what's happening in the social sphere, because it all happens at scale. I have a great example here of a company that was actually able to connect positively within the community, and actually through that connection and that ability to exchange value within the community, they were able, in a B2B environment, to create a network of advocates. A network of advocates that would help them spread the word, that would help them answer questions, that would help them take care of those social customer care cases, as we should call it in the old world, that were generated on social networks, on forums, on comments to articles. A community that was positively engaging through the brand, an example where a brand became a platform that was just facilitating conversation. And that conversation was of great value for anybody who was in the market, for something that Caterpillar actually does provide. A great example of a B2B company really making the most, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you more about B2B examples, because they're rare, but some of them are of the finest examples that we have. Principle number 4, I particularly like this because it says spread the love and spread the invites to the party. What does it mean? Well, it means that if you have something going on, and that is very cool, and it's growing, and it's positive, it's working, why don't you invite other people to the party? How do people get to know that it's something out there that is as cool, as great, and engaging as it's ever been? Well, you have to let them know. And today, through social, you have a way that is an unprecedented way. You can do it at scale. So break through the boundaries of the community that you're growing organically. Break through those boundaries and reach everybody who, in a social context, might be interested in participating to the community. What I'm saying here, what I'm talking about, is mainly Facebook ads and Twitter ads. What those type of media investments carry is something that we've never seen before, for scale and for the depth of the targeting opportunity. That targeting opportunity, though, has a whole new meaning to it because it can help you, as a marketer, spread the love and maintain the social context. What it means is that through your targeting, you can actually select people by interest, but also select people that, and select to send out a message that is relevant to them because someone in their network actually already engaged with the community. And that's the power of social in social ads. So again, think about the steps that we're taking. We started with listening, and then we started giving away through promotions, through content, through information, to build organically that community. That community generated conversations, and we captured those conversations. We engaged on those conversations to grow organically more and more our community. Now we're saying explode that community, make it grow to an unprecedented level through social ads, and keep everything in the social context where it needs to be. A very good example of a company that does that is Plinga. Plinga, you might have not heard about them. They're an interesting, fast-growing gaming company. And for them, approach to social is very pragmatic. Maybe actually also for some of the marketers in the room today as well. Very pragmatic. What's the ROI? I'm used to doing and measuring everything on direct response. That's the opportunity that we have today in social. It's part of it. But if it's part of a bigger strategy, so we're leveraging what's already happening in the community and making it, through social ads, reach outside the boundaries of the community, that's when we're spreading the love. That's when we're being that marketer that understands that there's an opportunity out there. And we can measure it even from a direct response perspective with this, but ultimately it's a need and it's a must to have to break through the boundaries of the community. Next principle, it's particularly relevant when we think about social becoming central to the strategy overall of the company. And this actually reads, recognize me in the crowd. What we're saying here is that social channel is not one channel, it's multiple. The ways in which me as a customer can connect to companies today is, someone says omni-channel. It's very varied. I can tweet about a company or to a company. I can go on their Facebook page and leave a message or leave a comment. I can reach them through the normal customer care line. I can tweet to them. I can, pin something about them on Pinterest. All of those things are happening simultaneously, but I'm always the same person. My expectation as a customer today is that the company recognizes me, recognizes who I am. They know me. They got to know me through all the various interactions, and their next message to me is relevant for me. And it's actually incorporating all the history that I have. If I download something using my Facebook login, and then I go back and I tweet about that company shouldn't send me a message, hey, why don't you download our latest white paper? Why don't you check out our video? They should know that I've watched that video. They should know that I've already reacted to a previous marketing campaign. I was already that one that picked up the phone and called the customer service. If you've ever had and you probably do, a problem with your mobile phone, what did you do? Did you call the customer care line? Did you tweet to them? Did you go on their Facebook page and try to leave a post? Most of them are actually closed, so you cannot post, so you actually put your rant on a comment to a post that they make, so there, it's on their wall. Now, how cool would it be, and how far and how much time will company need to make sure that whenever we connect with them, they recognize who we are? we provide a technology that helps those companies truly understand that singular customer view and make that part of the DNA of every single communication. So every time there's a different touch point, that gets added to a single profile. And through that profile, we get to know each other. And through that getting to know each other, we grow our relationship. We become more loyal to the company. Symantec has done a great job of actually making sure that that automation, that technology help enabled their ability to respond we're mainly talking about social customer care here with Symantec, to respond to those cases in the most effective and efficient way. When we started engaging with Symantec, they had community managers trying to address customer care issues. That should never happen. They are not the experts. And every time they engage in a customer care issue, they're actually probably not focusing on their social media strategy, on how to engage in a positive communication with the community. So they started to introduce a way for them to forward manually and require help from the customer care that obviously sits in a different department, sometimes in a different building. When we engage with them, through our technology, we help them to identify those issues as they come in and route them directly to the right people in the organization. That really helped them to become more efficient. It helped the community managers to focus on the community. And it helped customer care representative to really address those issues. And again, connect closer, get closer to their customers through that. Now, principle number 6 is our last principle, and it reads, know what matters. This is about knowing what matters for the customers first, and knowing what matters for the business first. I was about to say second, but if we are the marketer, we need to know what matters for our company. And and translate that into our strategy for communicating to the customer, for engaging with the customer. We need to know what are the metrics that drive our business and how, through our communication, we can impact on those. How do we measure those interactions under the lens of what matters for the business? We can only manage what we can measure. And this is of paramount importance for everybody. For everybody, transversal to the organization again, knowing exactly what should they expect from a social media strategy. How is that expectation set? And how is then executed on that expectation? So how important is it to capture all of those metrics and data, put them all in the same pool, and have, again, a single approach to measurement that it's always under the light of what matters for the business. But all of that starting with knowing what matters for your customers. What matters for your customers should be what matters for you as a company and for you as a marketer. It matters to them that they want to engage with you and reduce the time that they spend waiting on the phone, and reduce the time that it takes you to answer a request for help that comes from the help button, mobile. I'm tweeting, I can't get into, I don't know, there's a problem with my train, my phone doesn't work. Where do I find a good recipe for curry? I need to cook tonight. That's the help button. And the way the companies can act on it is to know what matters for their clients in responding to those requests for help, in engaging at scale through the social channels. The example that I have here is for LOreal. And for them, knowing what matters meant creating a strategy that would help them connect with their customers through a network of salons that are reselling and they're proposing their products. If you've ever been to the hairdresser, you will know that they probably have an agreement with some companies like LOreal, where they resell products and they can give you advice through it. So at LOreal, they realize that there's this intermediary between them and the customer. They know they can connect directly with the customer, and they know that they have this important intermediary right there. So for them, knowing what matters meant being able to provide a service to the salons so that through them they could engage directly with their customers. And then measure that under the light of how much more money are we driving through this engagement. Are we actually getting more sales? Are we actually getting closer to our customers? Are we delivering on what matters for our customers? So we've come to the end of our principles analysis, and we've transformed those building blocks, those technology-related building blocks, into principles. So how does the social marketer look like? How has he evolved to adapt to the social fast lane? Well, he's become a good listener. He's generous, he cares. He spreads the love. He recognizes me in the crowd, and he knows exactly what matters to me as a customer. Well, if you think about it, and this is where I was going with my story about how the presentation evolved in my hands and it became something different. If you read through that, that sounds a lot like my ideal best friend. I want that marketer to be my best friend, don't I? I mean, my best friend, or my ideal best friend, I wish I had one that ticked all the boxes here, is a good listener. He's generous, he cares, he knows who I am, he spreads the love, he's, has that energy and connects me with more people, and he knows what matters to me. So what we're saying is that the marketer, following these principles, the new marketer becomes the customer best friend. What we have not to forget, though, is that we started off by saying there's a new balance there between art and science. And throughout the presentation, we actually talked about how technology is a need to have to apply all these principles at scale, right? So this is a kind of a special type of friend that you probably also have. I certainly have one of that. He has all those characteristics. He follows all these principles in how he engages with me, but he's also very geeky. He helps me with my technology because he knows about technology. So this goes back to the CMOs that we introduced at the beginning, the ones that I wanted to talk to you about. Keith Weed from Unilever, Joseph Tripodi from Coca-Cola. Deep roots in technology today needed to be successful as a marketer at scale within the social fast lane. So what's the profile of the marketer of a customer company? Your key takeaways for today. Remember, if you're a marketer, you want to connect with your customers, you want your company to become a customer company, be there for them. Be their best friend. But at the same time, embrace technology. Keep calm and geek on. Become that geeky best friend, because you will need technology to be able to manage your social success at scale.